Tom Downey here as we continue our football position series for Alabama this year, breaking down the tight end room. We'll look at the losses, the top returners, the additions, and just overall go in depth on what could be a more utilized tight end room in the 2023 season with some additions that aren't just limited to the players on the field this year. Now, we've gone through quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, now tight ends today. If you want offensive line preview and breakdown, then share today's video. I really enjoy doing these. It is the closest we can get to just talking ball in June/July. So help me out so I can keep doing these and share today's video, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. We begin with the loss, and there's really only one that's worth mentioning. That is Cameron Latu, the now NFL tight end. Over the past 2 years, he has been the big piece in the tight room, and especially last year, he was the guy that Bryce Young trusted. Beyond Jahmyr Gibbs, especially early on in the season. Third downs, he was the guy Bryce Young trusted to make big-time plays. So the loss of Cameron Latu is a significant one as Alabama adds some new pieces. They bring in CJ Dippre, the tight end from Maryland, a transfer this past year. They added Ty Lockwood, a true freshman recruit, and perhaps most impactfully, actually, is Tommy Rees, the new offensive coordinator, formerly at Notre Dame. Here's why this matters. A great couple stats here, courtesy of On3. Really liked how they laid this out, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. The target share at Alabama over the past 5 years, that's just like, here's how much percentage of the targets the tight ends got. 14.5, 14.6 was the Cameron Latu years, 11.9, 7.9, 15.6 back in 2018. So not massive usage there. Now, I will make note before we break down the Notre Dame standpoint of it here. They had Michael Mayer, so they had an elite tight end. But the tight end usage rates were massive. We're talking over 36% last year. The best play in Notre Dame was stood up to Michael Mayer. A 30-ish, let's just round it for the course of the last 3 years, 30-ish% usage rate for tight ends is insanely high. And there is nobody as good as Michael Mayer in this tight end room. But I do think with Tommy Rees at the helm, even in a more run-heavy offense, my expectation, I think the tight ends, the goal is to get a bigger usage out of these guys. So will Alabama use tight ends more under Tommy Rees as the new offensive coordinator? This is today's pinned comment. So if that ad plays here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Y for yes, N for no. This is the current tight end room as I'll lay it out. CJ Dippre, tight end 1. Danny Lewis is a bit of an off-season winner from that perspective. Robbie Ouzts is still in line to be a key piece there. And Amari Niblack, and we'll mention some other players there. These are the returners at tight end, by the way. The leading returner is Robbie Ouzts at 187 snaps. Niblack played 45. Danny Lewis didn't play much, but the buzz on Lewis coming out of the spring matters. The addition of Dippre as a transfer is a big deal, too. So Ouzts is the returner, but the leading returner doesn't mean he's even tight end 2. We'll talk about Lewis and Niblack and all these guys here in depth momentarily. We'll go player by player. But who do you think will be tight end 1 for Alabama this year? Is it Dippre? Is it a Niblack, a shocker? Is it Lewis? Is it Ouzts? Who is it? There's maybe even no wrong answer. I think that's going to be a great camp battle or fall camp battle. So sound off for me in the comments right now. Let's begin with I said the betting favorite, if that exists, at tight end. That is the transfer out of Maryland, CJ Dippre. Now, he did not do a ton during the spring. He was a bit banged up. He was still adjusting to life at Alabama. But entering fall, I do think he is the favorite to be tight end 1. He flashed a little bit last year at Maryland. Only 30 catches, 10.5 yards per carry. Nothing that stands out. But in general, when you transfer to Alabama, that normally means there's a plan for you in terms of the usage and the role that you will have under Nick Saban, even with Tommy Rees being the OC. Also worth mentioning, there is that Mike Locksley connection. Obviously Maryland didn't want to lose Dippre, But the fact that he went to Mike Latu's old school, I would say that there was some good communication between the two programs. But like, yeah, you're getting a player worthwhile from that perspective. More players to come, but if you have not already got yourself an Alabama football jersey, hey, let's go. Come on, what are you waiting for? Look awesome wherever you are with the Bama football jersey. Chatsports.com/Alabama jersey, 25% off. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. You guys can check it out. Chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Don't delay. Get yours today. Customizable ones or throwback jerseys. Historic jerseys. I made the same mistake as last time. Historic jerseys for guys like Bryce Young, Derrick Henry, etc. Let's talk Danny Lewis now. Not a player, to be quite honest, I was really looking at, before the spring of, this guy's going to be a key piece for you. He barely played last year, but because of some injuries, Ouzts was out for spring ball and Dippre was still adjusting / missed some time as well. Lewis got a chance to get a lot of playing time, some reps with the ones, and he emerged coming out of the spring as a potential, if not starter, a rotation piece in this tight end room. He had a very strong spring performance, 4 catches on all 4 targets for 30 yards. So Danny Lewis Jr. has gone from an afterthought from me to, hey, this is someone we got to watch in the fall and see how he ends up emerging as a potential piece in the tight end room. And we'll have more Alabama football videos for you guys all throughout the remainder of June, July, and fall ball once it finally gets here. I can't wait for it. It'll give us more fun stuff to talk about. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/RollTideTV. Free videos when you sub. Let's talk now about Robbie Ouzts, the leading incumbent, I will call him from that perspective. He can do a couple different things for you. I still think he's a little bit more in the jack of all trades, master of none. Like, he's not a bad pass catcher. He's not a bad blocker. He's not a bad, athlete tackle breaker. But I don't think he's special or great in any of those areas. Kind of screams like good reserve tight end. But hey, college, you get better in college. He could take a big step forward this year. The wild card in the room I will give to Amari Niblack, who was an athlete originally. You can tell by the size, 6'4", 225, the listed weight. Probably added some pounds this offseason. 1 catch, 1 for a touchdown, 15 yards, by the way. Not much of a blocker. Needs a lot of work there. But there is some chess piece potential of, like, putting him in the slot, putting him out wide. Because remember, Niblack was an athlete coming out of high school. 4-star recruit. Number 146 overall in his class. Number 5 athlete, number 17 in the state of Florida. There is good athleticism, some good size. He's just not someone I trust always as an inline blocker. But as a potential usage chess piece, maybe even more so next year or 2 years from now, he's a guy to monitor because of that athletic and, just flexibility that he offers. So what is your confidence level overall in the Alabama tight end room? Scale this for me from 1 to 10. 1, of course, is the low end. 10 is the high end. Go vote. I'm very curious how confident you are, and you can factor in the addition of Tommy Rees if that helps make you feel better or worse, either way, about this tight end room. All right, next up on our list, we're going to move to Miles. I believe it was pronounced Kitselman. I'm still not entirely sure how that is pronounced. He wasn't actually in the Alabama pronunciation guide last year, which was kind of confusing to me. He didn't do much last year. 2 catches, 18 yards. Kind of screams tight end 5 as a backup, but he did play some last year, so I did want to at least make mention of him. Then there is the newest addition, or at least one of the newer additions, I should say, since there's a transfer too, and Rees signed afterwards, I guess. Ty Lockwood, the freshman recruit this year, 4-star, 243 overall, number 15 tight end, number 4 in the state of Tennessee. Given what you have already on the roster with Dippre and Lewis and Ouzts and even Niblack, I would say a redshirt year, whether it's the full-on redshirt or the 4-game max redshirt. I think that's what ends up happening with Lockwood for this season. Would be happy to be wrong, of course. I think he's more of a future piece in the tight end room.